What's up, guys? Welcome to Javelins for Hire, an Anthem podcast here on Nerds Gone Rogue. This is episode 6. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Deering, and alongside me, as always, to my right here, the wise Wisconsinite, Jesse Douglas.
How's it going?
And dropping in, over here like a Titan storm, that Retro Code Eddie V.
I have been hired to discuss.
Yeah, it's more of a trial run, but it's all right. We'll figure it out.
They call him Eddie Vanquish.
Eddie Vanquish.
It's an actual demo that works.
Are you gonna make your I almost said Titanfall your Anthem Javelin look like the Vanquish suit? Is that your goal?
If it allows me, yes. I really don't. I'm still playing with because I really want to see what the options that they offer. Because I wonder if I'm going to play around with some of the reds and some of the yellows, like I do with Destiny.
Do you guys actually want to know what I did with my what is it? The Interceptor? Was it the Interceptor? Yeah, the one that's like the fast moving one or whatever, the agile one. It's Interceptor, right?
Yeah.
I think it's Storm.
No, Storm's the flying one, like the one that emphasis on flight and range. Okay. The Interceptor is like the melee based one.
Okay.
So yeah, like if you can try to think of what would be a game that you would think of that a character is kind of like known for like flipping around in the air and like being super agile and fast.
Well, the first games that come to my mind are DMC, Bayonetta,
right.
Vanquish,
right,
older
Ninja
Gaiden. I don't know.
There's
Jet Set Radio.
That is not flipping around.
Wow, is your character neon green?
You mostly just grind on there.
Yeah, but the whole thing is you're flipping around and grinding and like flying through the air on grinding on stuff.
Well, it's Destiny. It's not Destiny's Anthem.
It's not Destiny's.
Oh,
yeah,
Destiny.
But no, it just like playing as that character. It reminded me of the the movement and just like the flipping around and doing twists in the air and because when you do a dodge with the regular character, they do a barrel roll, but with her she like does this like spinning, like really fast spinning thing.
Okay.
It just I don't know, for whatever reason it reminded me of Jet Set Radio, so I did the color schemes of Jet Set.
Nice.
That, like red, green and yellow. Yeah. Green, yellow, and maybe a little
orange. An orange? Don't he wear like an orange shirt? Or is it yellow?
I can't remember now. I was looking.
Well, whatever. We'll discuss later. Go ahead, Corey.
We'll discuss later. Yeah, okay. You guys just really threw me off. If you didn't know, this is Anthem Podcasts. You should, if you are interested in Anthem, you should like, subscribe, and share. Subscribe to our channel. Also, we are giving away a copy of Anthem. If you subscribe to the YouTube channel and screen cap it and send it to our email address, javelinsforhire@gmail.com. It'll be your platform of choice, the digital version. So head on over there. We're giving it away, so you can join in the fun with the rest of us.
Yes.
Yeah. Do it. So, there's another demo this weekend. I played a little bit, but probably not enough to talk about. So I know you guys played a little bit of it. So yeah, Jesse, you've tried out the other two Javelins that we didn't really play around with last weekend. So you wanna talk about those for a minute?
Yeah, for the most part, they've they feel quite a bit different, and obviously like they have different attacks. But I don't know. I think maybe it might just be because I've played so much more with that first character you start out with, that I still with the Ranger, that I still kind of go back to that. Yeah. But I think it's just I like I like his special attacks and all that stuff. But like with the what's the one that's good that uses like electricity and stuff.
Storm.
I'm blanking. Yeah, Storm. Yeah, like I like his attacks and stuff, but I feel like I don't quite I haven't quite learned how to use them yet. So I wasn't quite enjoying it yet until I get used to, how everything works with them. Because I'm not sure, but I think when you do your dash, like normally when you do your run or whatever, like you'd run. Most of the other characters run, but he hovers like along above the ground and just kind of hovers really fast.
Yeah.
And then there's like a shield, I think, around him when you do your run. So I believe he's protected from attacks when you're hovering. But even if you do your hover up in the air, like you have a shield, I believe, around you, and then you can just sit up there and do your attacks from the air. And basically, do things that way. You do everything from above because I've noticed, like, on the ground, like, he doesn't have a shield really, or not that good of one, unless you're using that hover shield. So like and again, I was playing it on hard, so the enemies do way more damage on hard to you, like you're constantly having to dodge somewhere and regenerate on hard.
Did you dodge a wrench?
Yeah. So now I what is it? If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Yeah. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge another Javelins blast shot.
So yeah. So like I do like the things that kind of he has, and again, there's a lot of different. I believe there's different attacks and things you can unlock for the characters. So I don't think those are the only attacks you can choose for him. I think eventually
the abilities.
Yeah, I think you eventually unlock more stuff and you can kind of swap those out. I think. Because that's what it seemed like, anyways. But
we'll probably see the full game.
And then the other one was the Interceptor or whatever. Like I like that one. Like I like that you move really quickly, but she seems to kind of again like her shield depletes pretty quickly. And I think that's because she moves so fast, so they're expecting you to be able to dodge stuff really quickly. So therefore her shield isn't quite as good, but she deals a decent amount of damage. Like her melee attacks are actually pretty powerful. And she does this really cool, like all the javelins do a unique ground pound type attack, like if you're up in the air and then you do a down melee attack from the sky. Like each of them do something different. Like hers is really cool. She spins like a screw, like a drill, and just drills right into the ground and does a blast attack to everyone around her.
I like to call that Mario's ground pound or bunt stop attack.
Yeah, it's different than that though.
But it's the same thing that you jump in the air, press down, and and he comes down to the ground. That's what I think of it as.
Yeah. But and again with that class as well, I played for maybe each of them for about an hour or so.
Yeah.
And so I'm not quite used to them yet, quite like I am with the other ones. So with the Ranger. So, but I do like they all have their own unique kind of abilities and feel. So
yeah.
But otherwise, everything that matters, like traversing the maps and stuff like that all feel just as good as the Ranger does, flying and all that. So
yeah, nice. Well, I'm glad one of us played as those. I played a little bit as the Colossus. I did a lot of the free range mode, or not free range mode. It's freaking Star Fox. Sorry, I've been doing some stuff for POW Block and Star Fox is on the mind. So, but the free play mode, yeah. Thank you, Jesse. And I played around as the Colossus, and I really liked the Colossus. Getting used to pulling out your shield when enemies are shooting you, because the Colossus, as opposed to the other classes, doesn't have an overshield. So when you're out in the world, you need to have your shield out unless you are shooting someone, right? And it's a kind of a unique dynamic to go by, because you're used to just like running around with the other classes without worrying about shield really, but you have to pull out your shield with the Colossus, and it's kind of cool. So I was running around with a group earlier in the free play mode, and I just found them out in the open world, and they were fighting some big monster, and I was shooting the guy, and then he was like throwing stuff at me, and I used my shield and deflected the stuff he was throwing at me, which it felt really good to do that. So and then there's like a meter at the bottom that your shield strength or whatever, and then if it breaks it's on like a cooldown timer or whatever. But it has a really cool melee attack where especially if you're flying, you just hit it and you do this big huge ground slam, kind of like the Hulk does, and it just clears out a whole wave of enemies. It's really cool. But I only played for like an hour this weekend. I was doing so many other things, and we're prepping other things for our main show, Nerds Gone Rogue. We're prepping a best of episode, and like that's been kind of, boy, what a dumb idea that was. It's rough, man.
That'll work.
Yeah, but it'll be fun. But yeah. Anyways, like I like the flying mechanics. I like the way the guns feel. It definitely feels a lot like Mass Effect in the end. Like Mass Effect 3, 2, and 3, kind of that kind of shooting, and which isn't a bad thing. Like I like Mass Effect shootings enough. But on Dark Zone Junkies, if you are interested in Division, you should go download that podcast. But we talked about how the Division has kind of set a new standard in third-person shooting. It used to be Gears, I feel like, for a long time, and then other games evolved, and then Ubisoft kind of nailed it with the Division. So, it's weird going from the Division to playing Anthem and kind of comparing the two, which I think is a little bit unfair of me to do that, but it's more about the combos that you're setting up with your teammates and stuff, and we're going to get into that a little bit in the news, because there's some new Endgame reveals that I think would be good for us to discuss, because everybody's confused about the Endgame and what is it and where is it coming from and stuff like that. So, but yeah. Add anything you got? Oh, sorry.
There was just one thing I was going to say really quick, because I did play some free play mode last, like when the VIP demo was coming out, and I did just going around the world and everything, because in that way you can kind of just go wherever for the most part. Yeah. And it's just like the open world, and they do, I don't know if you ran into any of these, but they do basically do something very similar to what Destiny does, where if you're just going around, you can find random chests with unlockables in them.
Yeah, I found some flying around.
Yeah.
So I mean, I didn't really get much. I got crafting materials, and I think I found one weapon. I think it was like a pistol, but the one I was using was already better. But still, I mean, I found some things, and then I got trapped in this cave with this big. I didn't know how to get out, and I tried to fly out one of the holes, and I wrecked just terribly. It was bad. That was some bad wreckage, man. Because I was like, that hole is clearly big enough for a Colossus to fit through, and guess what? It was not. So And then I couldn't find my way out, and I was like, I've got work to do. I'm turning this off.
Yeah.
What a great host I am of this show, guys. Not even playing the game. Can't even figure out how to get out of a cave. Ed, you got anything to add before we get into this news?
Yeah. Okay, so I just finished the Anthem demo, and I kind of realized that it's more of a mix than Mass Effect and The Division. It's a mix of Gravity Rush and Horizon Zero Dawn. Gravity Rush, as in the flying. The more that I started playing, the more I started getting used to it, and the more I started looking at it, I'm just like, this pretty much feels like Gravity Rush than like Star Fox or anything. Just the feel of it. Not saying control wise, it's just like I could see these two almost being similar, and that's good. It's not a bad thing, no knock against it, but I'm like, it feels more closer to that, which is a good thing. And I think with Horizon Zero Dawn, for those who cause Jesse, you don't know about it, there's parts that you could break off the dinosaur when you get to a certain point of damage.
I played it a little bit, but
with Anthem, on some of the enemies, you break off certain pieces of their armor stuff, and that it'll do more damage. You know, like that's kind of the way to like really take them down and stuff. And so it's kind of having that similarity to it. And I was just like, okay, that's cool. Because some of the basic enemies, you just got to get their shield down or kill them or just straight up shoot them. But it's like one of the big fire things. He got like a little big shield. But if you and your team like start going around them and fragging them and stuff, you could break pieces off of them and it'll glow. It have a light glow, so when it destroy the stuff, it's like you're breaking more fire off. It even happens in a Division, in a sense, when the firemen come and you can hit their gas tank and you see the effects. It's kind of almost like that, but when you look at it from Horizon Zero Points way, you can see those kind of similarities to it. So I was looking at that game that way. I think I want a little bit more, and this is gonna sound weird, but I kind of feel like that I want to be able to take my javelin on and get them stuck on a wall and have them face them like in a vertical kind of different 3D dimension and stuff. Because I was just like, it's cool that I'm doing regular cover, regular flying and stuff, but it would be cool to run up a wall or something and just like shoot them from there and move around and stuff. It was just like, it's another gameplay element that I would like. I was just thinking of that, and I'm like, that would probably make total sense, because I know with a lot of open area and a lot of respawning of the enemies, I'm just like, they need to open up more gameplay methods on how to go about a situation. So, but I mean, that was what I got out from playing the rest of the demo. I haven't tried all the other ones. I think I'm not like, I don't know how to equip different weapons and stuff, because I tried to look on how to do it, and it doesn't tell you a way on how to do that.
You gotta go to the forge, like, you know, and when you're in the one area where your javelin is kind of in the middle of this like platform thing, and then you walk up to it to get into it. Yeah, well, there's a couple of ways you can do it. I think there's like a menu thing that you can pull up and to go to the forge, but otherwise right before like as you're walking up to the platform, there's a little computer like thing down at the base of the platform, like where you first walk onto it. And if you look at that computer thing, it will say forge, and then you go into that, and then that brings you into the menu where you can change the color of your javelin. You can equip the weapons. You can change out which attacks that your character does. You can, like all that stuff is kind of all done in that forge.
I don't know if they explained that in the demo, because it's something I completely missed. I was just like, this is kind of.
There's a whole tutorial section that you can opt in to do through the menu system.
Okay.
Yeah. I figured it out. I just figured it out on my own.
Yeah. Well, if you talk to Zoe, right outside of your Javelin, the girl to the right, she tells you to go to the computer to customize your Javelin, and it's right next to her. So.
Oh. Okay. Because I just feel like that part is kind of that's
well,
going to be.
It doesn't really have the best menu system, to be fair. I think the only thing that's laid out well is your. Like once you get into where your Javelin is and the customization and stuff, like that's really the only place where the menu system is really laid out well. So
I think I'm so used to Destiny and the Division that my weapons and stuff are with me, and whatever I need to switch up.
Yeah, that's kind of obtuse too. Is like you can only take in stuff with you when you put it together.
Yeah.
You have to put your Javelin together, which I guess makes sense. Like, you can't really carry stuff with you in a giant mech suit, but like at the same time, it would still be nice. But
flying around with like a hockey duffel bag.
Yeah. But we're gonna get into some of these news stories here, just because we, unlike our other shows, we do like to keep this one a little bit on track. So we're gonna get into some of these news stories if my messenger here opens. Maybe. Okay, there we go. There's all the stuff. Okay, so this comes from GamesRadar. The Anthem Endgame seems to have more in common with Diablo 3 than Destiny. BioWare's living game needs to offer players a lot more if it wants to keep them around. It kind of goes into a lot of like what the end game is and stuff. I'm going to try to pick some stuff out of here, so we're not reading this whole article. But you don't become a forever game without some top-notch in-game content. For many players, hitting max level in an MMO like World of Warcraft or a shared world shooter like Destiny is merely the beginning. The gateway to the journey of gear, optimization, and tough-as-nails content you can only hope to conquer in an efficient, coordinated group. BioWare's Anthem definitely has people interested to jump in and pilot their very own Iron Man-esque Javelin suit, but without a great endgame, those players will have little reason to stick around. During some hands-on time with the max-level freelancer decked out with impressive gear, I'm not yet convinced that Anthem's endgame feels distinct enough from the experience you'll get from the first few hours of play. Prospective hardcore Anthem players may want to start adjusting their expectations accordingly. We also discussed this on NGR this week, how I think some people need to temper their expectations of Anthem and not going in and expecting it to be Destiny, but more of like a continuing Mass Effect style game. But with Anthem clearly positioned as EA's long-awaited response to the massively popular Destiny, it's natural to assume that Anthem would deliver the same mix of complex quests, coveted weapons, and engaging, challenging raids. But you ought to start thinking about Anthem's endgame as something more akin to Diablo 3, where the never-ending pursuit of slightly better gear is the primary goal, and the moment-to-moment action doesn't change all that much as a result. Piloting a tricked-out Storm Javelin with a 406 power level, Anthem's version of Destiny's light level, although obviously this guy at GamesRadar doesn't play Destiny because it's now called power level. Initially felt cool as I marveled at a fresh set of abilities and effects that made possible by my gear, but when the enemies and encounters you're facing don't seem to have much variety, the thought of spending dozens and hundreds of hours plugging away at the endgame grind seems less and less appealing. The most obvious parallel to Diablo is Anthem's difficulty system. When you first start venturing beyond the relatively safe walls of Fort Tarsus, you'll be able to tackle the mission on easy, normal, or hard difficulties. But at the current cap of level 30, you'll unlock access to 3 tiers of Grandmaster difficulty, where enemies have been juiced up with ridiculously inflated damage and health stats. It doesn't seem like there's much room to play with the number of enemies or the complexity of encounters. Everything that's trying to kill you has a 3,100 increase in its stats on Grandmaster 3. But like Diablo's increasingly tense Torment difficulty levels, it's not that your adversaries get much smarter or more diverse. It's only that they have a much better chance of instantly killing you. So that's then it kind of goes into the weapons and what cataclysms are, but we'll get into all that later. So it kind of seems like they might implement a seasonal system similar to if they're talking to Endgame with Diablo, because Diablo has the season system where you play a seasonal character and get the gear during that season. So that's kind of what it seems like, and you're going to replay a lot of missions on harder difficulty to get the gear instead of maybe doing raids or in-game stuff like Destiny. So, thoughts on that, guys?
I think people have already been used to that, so I don't think a lot of people won't be worried about it. It really depends on what they're going to be adding down the line for the in-game content, like in the following weeks and months and stuff. That's going to keep Anthem players there, because if people grow tired from Anthem by the time the Division 2 come out, then that in-game content won't even matter. They'll just pop back in when some new stuff comes up.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like,
well, and
oh, go ahead.
Oh, go
Jesse.
ahead. You can go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, this kind of sounds more and more like Warframe, too. You because Warframe has a lot of seasonal stuff, and then they'll bring out a big expansion with new sets of missions that you continue to grind out, right? And it's kind of seems like a AAA budgeted Warframe to me.
Oh, sorry, Jesse. Go ahead.
And I was gonna say, and I think the thing with the way that they're doing it, like, they'll obviously still have raids and stuff like that, but I feel like
you think they'll add raids?
Well, similar things to it, like they'll have, like, I mean, because you kind of in a way, so the things that they have are I guess they're more like strikes, but like the
strongholds.
Like but the thing is, like, I feel like at least like with Destiny, with their raids and things like that, like they don't. I feel like their random multiplayer stuff doesn't work as well in Destiny. Like I feel like at least if they make it where you play the things that we're already playing over again on a harder difficulty to unlock stuff, that's going to be more appealing to the majority of people, like people who like don't really necessarily care about doing strikes or doing raids and stuff like that, like a normal like big massive raid that can take hours to do. Like I think it's kind of a good thing that they're doing it that way. I feel like because then it's not as much of a hassle to try to get things. You just have to have your level up and after playing it for a while, know what you're doing, and then like anyone basically can get the decent new stuff. So I kind of like that they're doing it that way, to be honest. That they're it'll be a payoff to play it at a harder level.
Yeah, I mean, I as someone who has played a lot of Destiny strikes and a lot of in-game for Destiny stuff, like, and doesn't really care for the Diablo style seasonal stuff. I mean, I'm not worried about Anthem because I still think it's a different style of game than Diablo, but like at the same time, comparing it to Diablo is kind of. It puts it more in a different expectation level for me, I would say. I don't want to say it's disappointing. Because that's not disappointing. It's just a different expectation level for me. So
yeah,
it's sorry. It's just this game just reminds me of Fuse with EA and Insomniac, and it's better than Fuse, but it just has that feeling of you going from place to place, you're encountering the same enemies, and you could I think you go back and replay levels to get get stronger and stuff. So, but this one just offers more when the game is finished. So I think it's going to really depend on the campaign, on what's all offered there. If there's a lot that's there that people are going to stick with before they even get to the end game content, I don't think the end game content will matter because it's going to be the campaign experience that everybody might enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to move along here. In a surprise testing of Anthem running on PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, Anthem seems to run better on the PS4 Pro. This comes from comicbook.com, which I know isn't really the top source of finding out these things, but their source seems reliable. So if you're torn about whether you should pick up Anthem on PS4 Pro or Xbox One X, the former is probably the better bet. As you may remember, when Anthem was first revealed a couple years ago, it was demonstrated via the Xbox One X, and of course some took this to believe that Xbox One and Xbox One X versions of the game would get some type of specialty treatment. However, that assumption was wrong. The tech gurus over at Digital Foundry recently gave the demo a spin to test run the BioWare game on different platforms, and what Digital Foundry found was that, well, for one, the game doesn't exactly run super well on consoles, but also it runs better on PS4 Pro than Xbox One X, despite the latter being more powerful. According to the outlet, both consoles of the game supports 4K, running at a native resolution of roughly 1080p. Of course, both games are using a type of checkerboarding to render this, so in terms of resolution, there's not much to split the two premium consoles. However, the performance side of the Xbox One X loses some ground. According to Digital Foundry, PS4 Pro has an unlocked frame rate which moves between 25 and 35 frames per second. The Xbox One X oddly has a ceiling of 30 FPS and actually drops below 20 during more demanding parts of the game. It's quite a noticeable drop. I'm not even a frame rate savant like many are. PS4 Pro also has flexible options if you want to emphasize performance over resolution. With the Sony system, you can drop the resolution to 1080p, which in turn allows you to run at between 40 and 50 frames a second. The Xbox One X does not offer this option. So,
and this is going based off the demo, not the actual game.
Yeah, this is based on the demo. So, I mean, obviously this build is a couple months old. You know, the demo, I think they said they had the demo built in November. So, a couple months old. Obviously, they took a lot of the parts of the game out, and, you know, we're only doing certain stuff, but kind of surprising that Sony's the one that seems to be coming out on top in terms of the demo, in terms of frame rate and stuff. So,
well, even with the last versions of the demos, it seems that everybody was playing the game more on PS4 and Pro. Like they weren't having as many problems, and it just felt like everybody who's playing on one, there was just like big problems. So yeah, I'm surprised to hear that the demo was working.
Well, I mean, the demo on Xbox One was not running great anyway for all kinds of reasons. So yeah, I mean, I played it on Xbox One X, and once I got in, I wasn't having any issues. So. It might be a case-by-case basis. It depends on what events you're doing or whatever, but I didn't have any problems. And Jesse, I'm assuming you played on an X as well?
Yeah. Just recently I was playing on the X and it like ran super smooth. So I mean, you know, there was some frame rate drops and stuff, like, you know, kind of like they talked about. But the thing is too is the PC and the PS4 build are the same. That's why when they fixed the issues when they fixed the issues, they did the PC and PS4 versions first because it's technically the same build. Mm-hmm. So which like when they can resolve all the issues all at once for both consoles or for both the PS4 and the PC, because you know, like, it's for whatever reason it just works that way, that they were able to, you know, fix those first. But so I think that too in turn is probably why it was more efficient running on the PS4 version.
Which is
But-
weird because I thought they would do more. I thought Xbox OX was more PC-like than PS4.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I mean, like,
I don't know why.
Well, the
for whatever
standards,
reason,
the
it's
standards for Windows 10 are different than Steam and Origin and all of
Okay.
that. So that might be where the issue lies, is with Windows 10, not necessarily a quote unquote PC build. So
Yeah.
a generic PC build, I should say. So, but yeah, I mean, we'll see when the game comes out. I'm sure it's going to be optimized for Xbox One X, if not at launch, soon after. So.
I think it's going to be equal. I think they're going. I think it's going. The performance on both systems are just going to be fine.
Yeah. So, I was just saying that because we're all playing it on Xbox, so that's the only reason why I said that. But the last thing we're going to talk about here from PlayStation Lifestyle, we're going to talk about Anthem's alliance system. BioWare explains how Anthem's alliance system will encourage people to play with friends. Hopefully this ad moves so I can read it. Sorry. BioWare has previously said that Anthem will welcome solo players and won't force them to look for groups. However, the game is still, quote, best played with friends, and its social systems will encourage players to, quote, form friendships and play together. One such system is the Alliance system, which rewards players for playing with their... which rewards players and their friends for simply playing the game together. Anytime you complete an expedition, mission, contract, free play, or stronghold, you earn experience, wrote lead producer Ben Irving. That experience also goes into the Alliance system. Even better, the experience from the other people in your group also go into the Alliance system. Even better still, players on your friends list who play without you, their experience also goes into the Alliance system. It sounds like the Destiny clan system is what it sounds like.
Pretty much.
At the end of each week, players will be awarded coin, the in-game currency, based on the amount of experience they contribute. There are several tiers of rewards as well as the weekly cap. As far as guilds are concerned, Irvin said that they won't be available at launch, but release information will be shared in due course. While we believe the Alliance system is a great way to encourage social interaction with Anthem, we also understand guilds play a critical role in helping players form organized groups with people of similar interests and play styles. He continued, our goal is to release guilds as soon after launch as we can. Basically, the Alliance system kind of sounds like the Destiny clan system, even though guilds are probably more like the Destiny clan system, but this kind of sounds like the starter version of it or whatever. So, of course, we'll be forming a Nerds Gone Rogue podcast guild, I guess you would say. So,
yes. I don't feel like that this is more encouraged. This is kind of more forced in a sense because of how the game was designed. With all the respawning of enemies and being attacked everywhere, you probably won't be able to do a lot of that by yourself. So you probably would definitely be like, you know what? In order for me to do this mission, I'm gonna need my friends.
Well, it's like Destiny, right? You can play all of Destiny by yourself, but it's way easier and way better with your friends. So,
well, I mean, it is, but with Destiny, it's not forced because yours is such a closed area compared to you being an open area like Anthem.
Yeah.
So, that's the only reason why. Because I'm like, when you're getting when there's so many enemies respawning faster than you could take out, and you have to switch up your strategy on how to handle them, and plus when you down, you need another player to come in to rescue you. You cannot respawn on your own unless your whole squad dies.
Yeah.
So that's kind of that. All that stuff is kind of forced on you. If you down and out on Destiny and you're playing single player, you could die and just have to redo the whole section of if you could respawn or not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Destiny has like the darkness areas where if you die, you have to restart and you don't get the checkpoint. But a lot of the missions, if you die, you just respawn in 5 seconds. So, but I mean, look, this game is definitely designed around multiplayer. It's not they're not hiding that fact. They just say you can play it by yourself, which, plus, if you do play it by yourself, that doesn't mean you can matchmake into every event in this game. So even if you're playing by yourself, you can still technically play with other people without interacting with them. So,
yes.
And the game rewards you for that, which I think is cool. I think rewarding people for just playing the game and doing what you would normally be doing is kind of a cool thing. So, but that's it. That's all we got for this week. A lot of news this week, actually. I'm pretty satisfied with the news this week. So I'm still really looking forward to Anthem. We got 2 weeks now until it's out for EA Access players. So
next week for PC Premiere.
And no, the 15th. It's 2 weeks, and then 3 weeks for everybody else.
The time of this show, though, when it comes out.
It comes out tomorrow, in the morning.
Right. That's why
the EA Origin, the EA Access, and the Origin Access Premiere comes out on the 15th, and then the 22nd is for everybody else.
Right. The Premiere gets the full game. The original Basic gets only the 10 hours. So that's why I say on the 15th.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
That's what I was trying to say. That's what you said. The full game comes out in 2 weeks. So that's why I'm saying for the Premiere people.
Yeah.
For PC, they get the full game. We get it on the 22nd. So I think that's 3 weeks.
Yeah.
In a sense.
It's all right. I'll probably play the 10 hours at some point and then play on the 22nd with everybody else, and it'll be fine. You know what? It'll be fine. We'll get enough footage for that week and show off the first couple missions and whatever. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Yes, and I'll be wrecking stuff in Crackdown 3.
Yeah, I know. I want to play Crackdown also.
I get that.
Anyways, we're going to wrap up the show. A little bit longer show for you guys today, but that's all right. We enjoyed doing it. So remember, you can listen to Javelins for Hire every Monday at 6 a.m. Eastern Time on your podcast service of choice, and watch the show on our YouTube page. Subscribe and share. Remember, we're giving away a copy of Anthem, so you subscribe and send a screen cap of your subscription to javelinsforhire@gmail.com. You can check out all of our content and shows on ngrradio.com, as well as breakouts from this show and all of our other shows. We started doing that. Also a very bad decision for me, but also a very good decision for everybody else. So very happy about our traffic to our website has increased something like 3,000% since we started doing that. So it's insane. I was like, whoa, geez. So anyways, you can check out Ed's podcast, Optional Opinion, as well as all of us on Nintendo Power Block and Arsenal X, our Xbox podcast. And if you want to subscribe to any of our shows, you go to ngrradio.com/subscribe, and the whole list of shows and where to find us and how to follow us and join the groups and whatever. So also, by the time next episode rolls around, I'm working on seeing how viable an Javelins for Hire Facebook group would be. So that's kind of we're throwing that around a little bit, so that may be up by the time next episode rolls around, so look out for that. But anyways, I want to thank everybody for watching. Like, subscribe, and share. Rate us on iTunes. Give us that 5-star review. And until next week, we love you.
Javelin out.